In the hushed corners of ancient libraries and the shadowed alcoves of forgotten temples, tales persist of a figure whose name is spoken only in whispers. Vecna. Known as the Whispered One, the Arch-Lich and the Maimed Lord, his story is one of ambition, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of power. Centuries ago in the city of Fleeth on the world of Urth, a boy named Vecna was born into the untouchable caste. His mother, Mazel, a practitioner of forbidden magic, nurtured his innate talent for the arcane. However, her defiance of societal norms led to her execution by the city's authorities. This traumatic event ignited a burning desire for vengeance in young Vecna, setting him on a path of darkness. Fleeing the confines of Fleeth, Vecna delved into the deepest recesses of necromancy and forbidden lore. Some legends suggest he was guided by a mysterious entity known as the Serpent, believed to be the personification of arcane magic itself. Through years of study and unholy rituals, Vecna transformed himself into a lich, achieving a form of immortality that tethered his soul to a phylactery, rendering him nearly indestructible. As his power grew, so did his ambition. Vecna amassed an army of undead and loyal followers, constructing the rotting tower as his seat of power. His influence spread like a plague, and his name became synonymous with dread. Yet, even the most formidable of beings are not immune to betrayal. Kaz the Bloody-Handed, Vecna's most trusted lieutenant and the wielder of a sword imbued with a fragment of Vecna's own essence, turned against his master. In a climactic battle, Kaz succeeded in severing Vecna's left hand and eye, the only remnants of the Lich's corporeal form. These artifacts, imbued with immense power, would become legendary in their own right. Though diminished, Vecna's essence endured, plotting and waiting for the opportune moment to rise again. His tale serves as a chilling reminder of the perils of unchecked ambition and the thin line between godhood and monstrosity. Even after his physical form was destroyed, Vecna's influence endured, whispering through the shadows and corrupting the hearts of those who sought forbidden knowledge and power. His cult, known as the Remnants in Exandria, operated in secrecy, orchestrating events that would pave the way for their master's return. The Remnants were not a monolithic organization, but rather a network of cells scattered across the world, each working towards the common goal of resurrecting Vecna. They infiltrated political structures, manipulated arcane institutions, and corrupted sacred sites, all in service of their dark deity. One of their most audacious plans involved the corruption of ancient ziggurats, transforming these sacred structures into conduits for a grand ritual aimed at restoring Vecna to a physical form and elevating him to godhood. This ritual required immense preparation, including the gathering of rare artifacts, the sacrifice of countless lives, and the manipulation of planar energies. The Remnants' actions did not go unnoticed. Organizations such as the Cobalt Soul and the Grey Hunt recognized the growing threat and sought to dismantle the cult's operations. However, the Remnants' secrecy and the pervasive influence of Vecna made them a formidable adversary. In the world of Exandria, the Remnants' machinations culminated in a confrontation with the legendary adventuring party Vox Machina. The heroes uncovered the cult's plans and engaged in a desperate battle to prevent Vecna's ascension. Despite their efforts, the Remnants succeeded in their ritual, bringing Vecna back into the world and setting the stage for a climactic struggle between the forces of light and darkness. The resurgence of Vecna through his cult serves as a testament to the enduring power of belief and the dangers of unchecked ambition. Even in death, Vecna's legacy persisted, threatening to plunge the world into an era of tyranny and despair. The shadow of Vecna loomed ever larger over Exandria, but the seeds of his resurgence were sown years earlier through the machinations of Delilah and Silas Briarwood. Delilah, a formidable necromancer and former archmage of antiquity for the Cerberus Assembly, was a devoted zealot of Vecna, the Whispered One. Her obsession with necromancy and forbidden knowledge led her to uncover ancient rituals capable of restoring her husband, Silas, to undeath as a vampire. In their quest for power and immortality, the Briarwoods seized control of Whitestone, the ancestral home of the de Rollo family, and transformed it into a hub for their dark experiments. Beneath Whitestone Castle, the Briarwoods discovered and began to manipulate a ziggurat, a massive ancient structure pulsing with latent arcane energy. They initiated a ritual known as the Ritual of Seeding, designed to anchor Vecna's essence and facilitate his return to the mortal plane. This ritual involved corrupting the ziggurat's energies and creating a tether between the Shadowfell and Exandria, setting the stage for Vecna's eventual ascension to godhood. Vox Machina, upon learning of the Briarwood's atrocities and their connection to Vecna, embarked on a perilous journey to Whitestone. They confronted the Briarwoods, uncovering the depths of their necromantic experiments and the extent of their devotion to the Whispered One. Despite defeating the Briarwoods and halting the immediate threat, the damage had been done. The ritual of seeding had been set in motion, and the ziggurat remained a focal point of dark energy. The skies above Thar-Amphala churned with arcane storms as Vox Machina ascended the shattered spire of Entropis. Their objective: confront Vecna, who had achieved godhood and threatened to unravel the fabric of reality. The air was thick with dread, the very essence of the world trembling under the weight of impending doom. As they reached the summit, the heroes were met with a harrowing sight. Vecna, now a god, his form wreathed in shadow and malice, stood poised to cement his dominion over Exandria. The battle commenced with ferocity. Vecna unleashed devastating spells, including Meteor Swarm, which fractured the tower and scattered the party. Grog was momentarily banished to another plane, while Vexalia caught the lifeless body of her sister Valora, who had been ensnared in Vecna's chest. Despite the chaos, Vox Machina regrouped, their resolve unshaken. Allies, such as Arcan the Cruel, a dragonborn paladin of Tiamat, joined the fray, providing crucial support. The battle was intense, with each member of Vox Machina pushing their limits. Grog, empowered by divine strength, managed to strike Vecna with one of the prime trammels, artifacts designed to bind and banish the god. Keyleth, in her planetar form, attempted to attach another trammel, but initially failed. However, through sheer determination and teamwork, the party succeeded in affixing all three trammels to Vecna. With Vecna restrained, Scanlan Shorthalt recited the Incantation of Isolation, a ritual provided by the goddess Iun. The spell, combined with the power of the trammels, created a portal that began to pull Vecna back beyond the divine gate. In a final act of defiance, Vecna attempted to escape using the teleportation ability granted by his hand. However, Scanlan, sacrificing his most potent spell slot, successfully countered the attempt, ensuring Vecna's banishment. As Vecna was drawn into the void, the Tower of Entropis began to collapse. Vox Machina, battered and weary, managed to escape the crumbling edifice, their mission accomplished. The world was saved, but the scars of the battle would linger. Amidst the debris and the weary breaths of the champions, the severed hand of Vecna lay ominously on the battlefield, a relic of immense power and corruption. Arcan the Cruel, a formidable dragonborn paladin of Tiamat, who had allied with Vox Machina during the climactic battle, approached the artifact. Feigning the intent to destroy it, Arcan instead made a shocking decision. He severed his own left hand and grafted the hand of Vecna onto himself. Utilizing the hand's inherent magic, Arcan cast Teleport, disappearing from the battlefield and leaving Vox Machina in stunned silence. This act was not merely a betrayal, but a calculated move to harness the hand's power in service of his deity, Tiamat. Arcan's ambition led him to Avernus, the first layer of the Nine Hells, where he sought to use the hand's capabilities to free Tiamat from her infernal prison. In the wake of these events, Vox Machina returned to Whitestone, their home and sanctuary. The scars of battle, both physical and emotional, lingered. Vax'ildan, having fulfilled his pact with the Raven Queen, was claimed by his patron, leaving his companions to mourn his sacrifice. The world had been saved, but at great cost. The defeat of Vecna and the subsequent events serve as a poignant reminder of the delicate balance between power and responsibility. Even in victory, the shadows of ambition and the consequences of choices made in desperation continue to shape the world of Exandria. And so ends the tale of the Whispered One, for now. Vecna is banished, but in the wilds of Exandria, new monsters stir. Creatures from beyond the veil, nightmares made flesh, and beasts only the boldest dare hunt. If you enjoyed this journey into darkness and divinity, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us next time as we follow the blood trail to Vasselheim, home of Exandria's most ruthless monster hunters, the Slayer's Take.